Hi, Malcolm. That's I
Uh,
just War 101, right? As you tell the enemy what you're going to do in advance, correct?
yeah, but don't worry about it because if you tell the Trump transition team in Trump, that's just as good as telling Moscow itself.
Oh, this
And
is
just get out,
this
cut
is a
out the middleman.
this is an indication of the media over the next 4 years. Oh dear God. Okay. I mean, so you tweet. Speaking of Ukraine, you retweeted someone who said hard facts. Trump will not be able to stop the war against Ukraine. Trump will probably. I'm just paraphrasing here. Trump will probably ban the use of long-range missiles on Russian territory. Due to this, Russia will ramp up attacks against civilian targets and critical energy infrastructure. Ukraine can't rely on America's help anymore. Europe needs to step up. Russia will ramp up their sabotage and hybrid operations in the West. Russia is in a war economy while Europe sleeps. There is hope, but hope is not a strategy. Europe needs the political will to defend Ukraine in its own interests. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, Europe is starting to ramp up, and this is one of the things that Donald Trump won't be able to get away with when he talks about disbanding NATO. He was saying that people were not paying. There's not it's not a fee like a country club. People have to spend 2% of their GDP on their own defense. Well, now because of Russia's invasion of Europe, some countries have gone up to 5 and 6% of their GDP. They now understand that they may have to fight a war with Russia without the United States, or the United States allied with Russia in terms of intelligence and material, or raising sanctions. And that's what Donald Trump has said he's going to do. So, we really should start viewing Ukraine as being a European centric support, country, and not to rely on Donald Trump.
Yeah. Sounds like the Ukrainians are getting what's the word? Creative. A
Yeah.
Russian general, a senior
Oh,
Russian
they're
general,
very
was
creative.
killed by a bomb hidden in a scooter outside his apartment building. Hang on. A popular military blogger died when a statuette given to him at a party in St. Petersburg exploded. This is kind of some 007
Yeah.
stuff. This
Oh,
A Russian woman who said she presented the figurine on the orders of a contact in Ukraine was convicted. Yikes.
yeah. I'd hate to be the one to tell people this, but this has been going on for 3 years now. People, someone asked me yesterday, Sarah, the Ukrainians being assisted by the Mossad. No. Let me tell you, Ukrainian intelligence, I worked with them for my first 3 months when I was in Ukraine. They are very good at these games in their own region. The people who are really getting it, that you're not hearing about almost every day, are the collaborators who joined Russia's forces or joined the Russian government when they invaded these areas. And these were Ukrainians that were one day Ukrainian and then joined the Russian government. They're blown up with alarming regularity. They
Yeah.
just killed the head of a force in Donetsk the other day. Going deep into Russia and blowing stuff up is not hard for Ukraine because they were part of the Soviet Union. They have lots of contacts there. They have millions of people who support them, and Russia just cannot stop it. They don't have an army anymore.
Let's talk. Speaking of Russia and Russian assets, you retweeted John Pavlovitz, who said Elon Musk is a Russian asset who has no business being anywhere near our government. Thank you. Liam Neeson, who said former Congressman Dana Rohrabacher was credibly accused of working for Putin. He sponsored the bill that allowed Elon Musk to privatize the American space industry. Now Putin controls our rocket production and over 30% of the global internet, Starlink. This is really unprecedented. Although somebody tweeted that Hitler had a guy like this too, some rich guy. Because I just am like, what? America didn't vote for this guy.
Well, Steve Schmidt put it best when he said very clearly America has gone into oligarchy.
Yeah.
We are
Oh yeah.
now being controlled by the billionaires. And we are, I just saw just a few minutes ago, someone was making a proposal that the Republican caucus should vote Elon Musk as the Speaker of the House.
Oh
Oh
Jesus.
God.
Yeah.
It doesn't require politics. All it requires is a majority.
That's
And
right.
he's just
But,
like, and
he's
he's
too
just
billion.
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna say, and he's just like Trump. He's just a bully. That I read his tweet yesterday about there's graveyards full of my enemies, and you said only a wild collection of half-eaten hot pockets, broken human emotion, and unused common decency fills the graveyards of Elon Musk's enemies.
It's very true. In RIP, the Hot Pockets. But that's
Right.
how he got to where he was. Working with the PayPal mafia, and then he went out, used his billions to go out and buy companies that were actually doing the work. Elon Musk has invented nothing And the only thing that he has going for him is that, like Pete Hegseth, his mom has to go on TV to talk about what a good boy he is.
She's like every Disney villainess put together. What is up with her?
Wasn't she
Someone said that. She was like a mix between Cruella de Vil and some other character.
Yeah.
Yes. By the way, speaking of bullying, so Trump just continues to bully Canada, and Justin Trudeau, you retweeted Trump weighs in on the resignation of Canada's finance minister, Christy Freeland, amid his threats to impose tariffs, continues to refer to Prime Minister Trudeau as governor. And you just retweeted Jim Sciutto, who said Canada fought alongside the U.S. in World War II, the Korean War, Afghanistan post 9/11. In Afghanistan, they did some of the hardest frontline duty of any U.S. ally, suffered more than 150 killed in action. The antagonizing of a neighbor and longtime treaty partner makes little sense historically. Nothing Trump does makes any sense, right? Keeps talking about making them the 51st state and then, insulting them.
This is gonna play out badly for him. I mean, this is all fun and games. I mean, next thing you know, he's going to be quoting, singing South Park's "Blame Canada" song. But he just does not understand some things. If you're like me, you guys live in a rural area. The one place that you're at once or twice a day is Lowe's or Home Depot. And I don't know if you remember the great lumber crisis of 2 years ago, where lumber in the United States almost doubled to do anything. Housing construction costs skyrocketed. Canada is the #1 importer of lumber in America. This is where we get all of our lumber. So if you want to see all of your prices go up 100%, or 25%, or whatever.
And he deports half the construction workforce in the United States. Yeah.
Half the construction workforce is Latino immigrants.
Yeah.
Into this country.
Listen to, just on this subject, Canadian MP Charlie Angus.
We're not going to be slapped around like this. I think there's a tradition in Canada of not wanting to be openly confrontive, which is fair. I think that's who we are. Yep. But Donald Trump's a different kind of animal. He's playing for the rage algorithms. And I don't think we should allow him that free reign. So for me, it was really simple. Standing up and saying, no, we're going to have tough negotiations, fair play. But this kind of dismissive, idiotic behavior, I mean, he's a juvenile.
And this one, hang on.
And I invite Donald Trump. Come up anytime in the winter, Donald. Try and drive our roads. Try and win an argument with any woman in Canada. Try and take us on anything where we are very comfortable at. We're pretty tough and resilient people.
All right, and they're probably smart enough not to let us run to Canada when Trump starts. Here's our Forming the New American Resistance by Malcolm Nance. You say it's time to organize a new model American resistance movement that is aggressive and persistent. We need a recognizable resistance that will represent the disenfranchised, frustrated, unmotivated voter base that just got its legs kicked out from under them. But let's get something straight. The job of my new model of resistance is not to run massive protests and mobilize millions to hit the streets so Antifa can cause riots and Trump will suspend the laws to crush us. We must harness the rules of psychological warfare, strike Trump in a way to cause personal psychic injury. Our tactics must be deep enough to escape notice till the moment they happen and then have the news media driving impact. Tell us more. This is very long manifesto. I could not get to all of it. Give us our marching orders.
You should have seen it. It was 4,000 words at one point. I've turned it into 3 separate substacks. You guys have been asking me over the last month on Substack and Twitter and Blue Sky, have been asking me, what can we do? This is the first step that we have to take to do something. And the first step is Mark Elias made a brilliant article post about how we need to form an opposition. An opposition is the political party, a new news media, all of these things, which takes time to organize. In between that, a new resistance model is you learning to carry out simultaneous, what I call FAFO, right? Which stands for...
yes. Around and find out.
No, it stands for focused action with focused objectives.
Oh, all right.
And as a matter of fact, I think we should form a political action committee called the FAFO PAC, where we organize the resistance to help individuals, all of you, have guidance on what you want to do. And I propose 3 FAFO actions during Inauguration Week.
Okay.
You want to hear them?
Yep. Yes, please.
What we want to do is everyone carry out one act of resistance simultaneously. All of us, the 70 million people, 74 million people that voted against Donald Trump. Number one, we're going to do a news media blackout of the inauguration for 100 hours. From 8 a.m. Monday till 8 a.m. Saturday, go read a book, go ride a bike, go play with your family. Do not engage, watch, participate in the inauguration.
Yes.
Look, it's a disaster anyway. Why do we have to take part in that?
I have an alternative suggestion. Saturday, January 18th is Sexy Liberal DC. Go see that at the Warner Theater or buy a pay-per-view ticket as your act of resistance. SexyLiberal.com. And then I'm going to be out of there Sunday morning first thing.